Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 964 for the 14th of October. I've changed my curtain. It's no longer red. So you no longer have Sith wired anymore. No? I'm no longer part of the dark side. I'm just in the dark. So anyway, we're gonna the frontline changes report is already out. So if you want a shorter version, just watch us frontline changes report over in the DPA main channel. So subscribe to the wall channel, which is this channel. So and now we're gonna start off with the situations in the Kursk front. At the Kursk front, the Russians have some updates, and according to the so let's not talk about according to first. Let's talk about the strategic situation. Russian forces are fighting in the region of Novi Put. They are still pushing over in this western flank at the Novoivanovka region, Lyubimovka region, Tostilok. They are attacking Malaya Luknia. Ukrainian forces are counter-attacking at Tostilok as well as Lyubimovka, and the Russians are pushing at Cherkasskaya Korabelka region as well as Blakovo, with the Ukrainians also counter-attacking and clashing. So this is the strategic situation over at the Kursk front. And so some people say that, I'm not zooming in or zooming out enough though, but yeah. But okay, yeah. So over at this Glushkovo sector, so which is named after this Glushkovo. So according to the mapping by Surya Maps, his mapping, he claimed that the Russian forces have taken the border. The Russians have successfully pushed out all the Ukrainian forces away from Novi Put. And this is based on the claim from Surya Maps. I can't tell if this is true or not, because I still the Surya Maps technically is still under trial at this moment for DPA's mapping. After their return to my primary source as a primary source, but I'm still looking at it because there is still a lot of claims by Surya Maps that is not corroborated. So I'm still looking at it. So this is just something to take note on. The Russian Defense Ministry simply mentioned the fighting at Novi Put. There is geolocation of Ukrainian forces getting hit along the border. Electronic warfare thingy got destroyed by a drone. So that's all from this area here. But as you can see that the drone is the electronic warfare system is pretty near to this border, which is why I have my doubts whether the Russians actually went all the way to the border. And in fact, I'm not even sure if the Russians even captured Novi Put at all. So let's wait and see for if there's more information. Over in the western flank, according to the mapping from Surya Maps again, he mapped that the Russian forces have taken control, expanded the control over in the western part of Novoivanovka, and in fact pushed south at Zeleny Shite. But this is a problem as well, because the way how he mapped basically shows that there's only water body around here. This is just water. So essentially, he's saying that the Russian forces have encircled the Ukrainian forces over at Tostilok. And yeah, this is rather huge as a news. I really can't tell if this is real or not. I'm having a lot of doubts. Like honestly, I have so much doubts. So anyway, just based on the reporting itself, we have knowledge that from the Russian Defense Ministry, Russians are attacking at Novoivanovka. They're attacking Zeleny Shek. Oh no, this is based on okay. Let's follow only the Russian Defense Ministry's information. They are only talking about Lyubimovka and Tostilok. That's all. That's the Russian Defense Ministry report. Lyubimovka, Tostilok. That's all. The Russian Defense Ministry did not mention anything about Novoivanovka, and the Ukrainian forces are counter-attacking exactly in the same places right now. So these are the official report. But based on if you put in the Surya Maps report, then he talks about Novoivanovka and the Zeleny Shite, and with this push, basically encircle the Ukrainian forces at Tostilok. This is like massive news if it's real. However, I'm raising my doubts. Like I'm really not sure how real is this. There is Russian forces that is geolocated, just storming this part of the Lyubimovka. They are still around this area here, north of Tostilok. So I would have to say, yeah, no. So anyway, I put back Surya maps because a lot of you guys asked for it, and it's like, okay, since I already put DivGen, might as well. So let's see how it progressed. The Russian Defense Ministry also mentioned Ukrainian forces counterattack in the region of Ogovka. I'm not exactly sure where the attacks what is the vector of attack, so take that with a pinch of salt. Russian forces attacking Malaya Luknia. Not exactly sure as where the attack is coming from. So previously, Russian Defense Ministry mentioned that they have captured Novaya Storoshkina, but we have no idea where it is coming from. And for those wondering about the orange polygon, the DivGen's rumors, I have deleted them all because I think that there's way enough time passed to invalidate their mapping. So I'm not going to use DivGen again. So because their mapping cannot be corroborated, so now it's Surya Maps' turn for me to to see whether it can be trusted or not. Over in the southern flank, we have again, this is based on Surya Maps mapping. They according to his mapping, he claimed that the Russian forces have captured Chekskaya Konopelka and expanded control north of Bakhmut and taken position west of Fanasiyevka. So like I said, this is again exclusively only on Surya Maps. No other mappings talk about this, and this tends to be a lot of the cases by Surya Maps. So according to the Russian Defense Ministry, there's only fighting reported at Blakovo. That's all. Ukrainians are not reportedly counterattacking. I saw wrong. It was actually this icon, which is another Ukrainian position that got shot and destroyed by drone. So take this part with a massive pinch of salt for now. So that's all for the Kursk front. And we move on from the Kursk front over in the Kharkiv front. At the Kharkiv front, we have fighting reported at Lipsy, Voschansk, and Taike. The information is coming from the Ukrainian side and I think in the Russian side, both. So geolocation of Russian forces, according to Deep State UA, in the region of Kripoke. So getting hit, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, they got hit by some heavy attack copter. I think it's some kind of drone. I'm not sure. So anyway, I'm not sure what the hell is it. I didn't really look at the footage. No, I'm not into war porn per se. But yeah, so that is what it is. We'll move into Kupiansk front. At the Kupiansk front, Russian forces are fighting at Sinkivka, Petropavlivka, Stepova Novoselivka. Shelling is reported at Kupiansk Volovy. And there's interesting new report of fighting reported in the region of Holubivka. This is reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry themselves. They mentioned Holubivka. And Holubivka is an unusual place because if we zoom in exactly to see where it is, it's actually on the other side of the Oskil River. And they say that the Russians are attacking in this region, which means that this supports the hypothesis that I have that the Russians may have already taken all of the forests around Sinkivka, and that the Russians are probably trying to attack in the region of Holubivka or pushing south towards Kupiansk, nearby to Holubivka. I personally do not think that the Russians did a crossing to attack Holubivka. I think that is a bit weird. Tactically and strategically, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, it's probably just across the river of Holubivka, the Russians are actually present in that area. So we will just continue to monitor. The situation in this area is very, very bizarre. So let's see how this goes. Over at the Pishchane front, we have fighting reported at Novo Osinove, Klushkivka, Kolesnikivka, Krylakivka, as well as Lozova. So the Russians are really pushing very hard over the Pishchane region. Geolocation of Russian airstrike over at Novo Sinove, so probably supporting the Russian operations around this area here. Further south from this position, at the Svetove front, Russian forces are fighting at Vishneve, Peshotravneve, and Novo Yerhorivka. And I realized that there's a Peshotravneve around here, so which might explain the reports about fighting at Peshotravneve previously, which I mapped it in a different place. I map it here because this is also Peshotravneve. So it's not my fault. It's Ukraine's fault because Ukraine like to name locations with the same name, like Mykolaiivka. You see how many Mykolaiivka you have seen already? And Tokarivka, how many Tokarivka you have seen already? So yeah, it is what it is. And Yahine, all of these names, Volodymyrivka, so many, all just repeating names all over again. So yeah, this is a Pishchane navy around here. So this is probably where the Russians are pushing around in this area here. So very, very interesting. So Novoyehorivka is actually this small little village around here, which you probably cannot see if you zoom out. It's very, very tiny. It's just a few houses, and that's about it. Moving further south, over in the this Kremina region. So there's nothing over in the Dibrovo Serbiansky Forestry region. Fighting is reported over at Nevsky, near Ploshchanka, Novolyubivka, Novosadove, Terny, Yampolivka, Torske, as well as Zarichny. Again, a lot of mapping coming from Surya maps. You can see this is actually pretty crazy. So many arrows all in the same place. But there is some problems in this area. So first thing first, Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian source, acknowledged that the Russian forces have managed to push in the region of Ploshchanka and managed to push nearer to Nevsky. So this is Ukrainian disclaiming positions that they previously claimed to be under Ukrainian forces. The one in the south is a bit more troubling. This is by Surya maps. So the according to Surya maps, they mapped that the Russian forces have taken a lot of grounds around here towards Novosadove, including all these tree lines down this gully, and then all these things, and another gully in the south, which is a massive amount of grounds allegedly taken by the Russian forces according to Surya maps. Again, this is yet another a lot of these claims or mapping that no one else has mapped, and I can't tell at this moment if this is real, accurate or not. So we will have to wait and see how this continue to develop. I probably might turn this to orange mapping just to see whether this can be corroborated, not just like multiple locations in over the past 24 hours that Surya maps have mapped. So nothing against him. I actually know him personally somewhat, digitally, but this is not okay if it's cannot be corroborated and the mapping get invalidated. Like one of the places is already invalidated, so I just have to wait and see how this progress. Over in the Sivers front, as you can see, all the orange patches has already been deleted, and because of because I have disclaimed everything, and that geolocation of Russian flag over the western part of Kurakhove cannot be confirmed to be actually legitimate. The mapping have actually detracted. So Ukrainian forces now gain back mapping control of Volkomokoyamsky, or most of it. However, this front line over here is also previously mapped by Surya maps. So the entire area here, this entire area here is very Surya mappy. So we just have to wait, and then hopefully it will just clean up himself, over time. Over in the northern part of the Bakhmut front, Russian forces are fighting in the region of Zaliniansky, Orikovo, Vasilivka, over at Chasivya, as well as in the south of Chasivya at Shevchenko. So the Shevchenko one is reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. So Shevchenko is actually a district south of Chasivya, a small district, and I cannot tell if this is the Shevchenko that they are referring to in their reports. This is Shevchenko. So, and because of the Russians have advanced in this area previously, it is possible that the Russians have pushed towards Shevchenko in this area here. But there's also a possibility that it may be another Shevchenko somewhere else in the front line, which I'm not sure exactly where. So just to have some disclaimer regarding this, because again. And over in the southern flank of Bakhmut, there is only fighting reported towards Dilievka, and hopefully it's not this Dilievka. Anyway, over at the New York front, we have only fighting reported over in Torex and Skibinivka. And according to Surya maps, there is some frontline change over at Skibinivka. In the north of Nelipivka, they claim that Russian forces have taken these positions. So again, very, very question. Really not sure how to go about this. And then there's some geolocation of Russian forces getting attacked, and Ukrainian forces getting attacked. So basically, the front didn't really change the front line. So we'll just continue to wait and see how this progress. Over in the northern flank of the Pokrovsk front, Russian forces are fighting with the region of Vozdvizenka, Novotoretsk, as well as Myro-Lyubivka. There's nothing special about all this. This is pretty usual. Over the Pokrovsk, Nominograd sector, or the Pokrovsk sector of the Pokrovsk front, Russian forces are fighting at Promin towards Minograd, Lysivka, as well as west of Novokhorodivka. And there is geolocation of Russian forces attacking Ukrainian positions just off Lysivka. And of course, this is interesting because this area here is also mapped by Surya maps. So, yeah, you can now see what the problem I have right now. So over in the Selidove region, there's fighting reported in this sector. But no, we have no idea where the attack's actually coming from. So over in the Khernik region, at the Khernik region, this area seems really hot. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, they reported fighting at Sukharine, Novoselidivka, Izmailivka, Khernik, Zoryane, as well as Kurakhove. As you can see, this basically is the entire front line. Everywhere is under attack. So the Russians are really desperate to really close up this chapter around here, and looks like, yeah, the Russians are focusing the effort in this area here. And I think the objective is probably to take the northern shores of Kurakhove, and that would be, severe pressure on the Ukrainian side. So, and over the Kurakhove sector, of course, as mentioned, fighting at Kurakhivka, the Russians are attacking towards Kurakhove, and fighting reported in the region of Georgievka. There is a Caesar artillery get destroyed by the FPV drone. So, but that's about it. And we move further south to the Vodyane Konstantinivka region. Russian forces are fighting in the region of Konstantinivka, Antonivka, Katerinivka, in the region of Vodyane, and towards Bohov-Yevlenka. Geolocation of Russian forces attacking a position resulted in some frontline changes. Just a small one around here, which the Russians are attacking these tree lines or this forest part in this area here. So otherwise, the Russians are pushing across the understood sector. They are pushing all across this area here. So yeah, we shall see how this continue to develop. And if you zoom out a bit, you can see that this is a pincer, but very vague one. It's a very vague pincer. So the target is, of course, Kurakhove. So let's see how this continue to develop. Over in the Konstantinivka region, Zolotan Neva region, Ukrainian mapping have acknowledged that the Russians have expanded control north of Novodonetsk. So Russian forces continue to have success in this area here at Zolotan Neva as they expand their control, securing Novodonetsk in the north. So the Russians are now continue to, probably they're going to fill up the entire area here all along the highway towards Velika Novosilka. So this is the current situation in Zolotan Neva. So in the Velika Novosilka sector, we have a lot of actions around in the Pryyutne region. According to the Ukrainian mapping, they have conceded a lot of grounds around here. We haven't heard of Pryyutne for a long time. Russian forces have conquered and secured Pryyutne in the northwest direction, of now moving in the direction of Novodarivka. So Russian Defense Ministry have caught up and announced the capture of Levadne. So there's a very, very good chance that Levadne is actually now firmly under Russian control. Ukrainian mapping only considered some parts around Stepove. So otherwise, this is the frontline changes in this sector and the progress of this area here. So yeah, so Pryyutne has been the dramatic site for a long time, for one period of the Ukraine war. A lot of heavy clashes around here and a changing of hands of the grounds. So now, finally the Russians have really fully taken this place. There is shelling report at Timirivka, and there is a FPV drone strike of a Ukrainian artillery just off Novoivanivka. So by the way, that's all. And we move into the Zaporizhia front, and the fighting is only reported over at Malatomashka and Novodanilivka. So otherwise, that's all from this area here. There's nothing else over in the Zaporizhia front. There is shelling reported at Stepne, not important. So then that's all. We move into the Kherson front. At the Kherson front, we have Ukrainians returning to their antics about reporting Russians attacking Prydniprovsk direction. Shelling is reported at Antonivka and Dniprovsk. But otherwise, there's nothing else over the Kherson front. And so just want to say again, because there's way too many mappings. Similar situation with DivGen, where there's a lot of advanced mapping, and then it feels a little bit off from the reporting by the defense ministries, and also no other primary sources like Deep State or RIBA is acknowledging it, and it's a few days has passed, and that is a concern, which is why SITREP maps in terms of in our sources you can follow him, no problem, believe him, no problem, but in terms of DPA's mapping needs, definitely we are now putting it on the list of like we really have to take notice. I probably put it in a different color, and we monitor it over the next few days. If it cannot be corroborated, no one reports that no reports, no geolocation that can corroborate the claims of advance, and no reporting is catching up with it, then I have to say that I have to drop it back into secondary source, because I just cannot use such a mapping, because then our mapping would just be wrong. So yeah, then we will just back to square one, where I do not have DivGen or SITREP maps just 2 weeks ago. So just it is what it is. So, and there is also some reports about Russians attacking commercial ships over in the ports of Odessa. And the latest report that I've seen is that one of these latest attack was on a ship that is transferring or allegedly transferring weapons and ammunition from Turkey all the way to Odessa, and then Russian troops, Russian missiles or drones then attack the container ship that allegedly carrying all this Turkish ammunition and weaponry, and destroy the ship over in Odessa itself. So yeah, so that is the story. The commercial ships, if I'm not wrong, coming from Istanbul, and they go along the border and then go to Odessa. And then of course the Russians clearly don't want to be seen as attacking commercial ships like the Houthis that is traveling in open waters. So they wait for them to port, and then they can say that they attack the port. Yeah, and then miss, and they hit the container ship. So so anyway, that's it. So thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe. And sorry that I have to talk a bit about the sources things, because it is important to know where your information is coming from. If not, then you can be lied to, manipulated, and brainwashed. You don't want to be brainwashed, right? Because they didn't wash their hands when they wash your head, wash your brains. They just shit, and then like shit is over the hand, and then they wash your brain. You want that? You don't want that, right? So don't get brainwashed. And I'll see you guys in the next update.